I am greeting not Hitkari, but I am greeting the supreme immortal power in Hitkari. Sip Raju, Sip Ru Mataji, Sip Rajan, Sip Ruchika Singh, Sip Kumar Swami, Sip Tanu Chopra, Sip Sudeep Bhargava, Sip Gautam, Sip Bridget, Sip Leena, Sip Vijay Israni, welcome. Sip Kaumudi, Sip Atmatray. And we only call people Atmatray only if they like to be called. So Atmatray changed his name from Dattatray to Atmatray. So it's your choice. If Ru Mataji wants to be called Ru Mataji, we call her Ru Mataji. Each of you must make a preference to be the Atma. If you want to be the Atma, that is your choice. If Sudeep says, I'm happy being Sudeep Bhargava, then Sudeep Bhargava must remain as Sudeep Bhargava. Sip Lakshmi, Sip Ashok Nichani, and Sip Dasi Budhrani. Welcome to another evening's interesting question answer. Somebody sent me a question. Administrators putting up the question. Somebody sent me, forget the grammar of the question. People have sent this question to me. So I projected the same question. Why are enlightened beings so carefree? Will realizing enlightenment may not be the right question, but will enlightenment solve all my problems? What do you think? Why are enlightened beings so carefree? And will enlightenment solve all our problems? Who would like to give the answer to the subject? Who would like to answer?
Hello, Shivoham.
Shivoham, yes, my dear.
I think enlightened person are less careful because it's Maya. It's only a illusion.
Wow, we have a girl like Bridget in Canada who speaks French, and she says it's all Maya. So Bridget has been on this call. Very good, Bridget. I'm impressed with you. You are absolutely right. Everything is Maya. So enlightened being knows they don't are irritated and upset and anxious and depressed at every small thing. They realize that's all Maya. It's just a Leela. It's just a show. We are actors. We come and we go. So what's the big deal? So enlightened people are carefree according to Bridget. Who else? Because those who are not enlightened, they take life too seriously. Those who are not enlightened, they get upset for every small thing. So why do you get upset for every little thing? Because you think you're the body, mind, ego, and you don't realize who you truly are. But let me throw open to some more of you. Sudeep Bhargava.
Shivam, sir.
Shivam, Sudeep.
Ma'am has already given a very correct answer. I cannot go any forward. I could just rephrase it that it's like watching a movie. We are carefree. We don't really, it doesn't really matter to us what's happening in a movie because we know it's drama. In the same way, the person who is enlightened, he knows that whatever happening in front of me is a drama. It's like a movie only. I need to watch that movie.
Yeah, but many people watch the movie and cry.
That's possible because they get emotionally connected with it. So.
Yeah. They cry, oh, Amitabh Bachchan died in the movie. And they feel very sad. Why did Amitabh Bachchan die in the movie?
But the second question, I would like to give an answer to that, and maybe you can correct me if I'm wrong, sir. Does that solve my problem? So enlightenment doesn't solve my problem. It will just dissolve the problem. The problem is not even there. So there's no point of solving something which is not there.
Yeah, when you get enlightened, then it's like that. But as long as you're not enlightened,
then there is a problem.
Then you're in the frying pan.
Yes.
Then you're in the frying pan and you're upset and you get crying and you're upset. I don't like this. I don't like that. I'm unhappy about this. I'm unhappy about that. You're unhappy about everything. Even though you have everything, you're still unhappy.
Right.
So you don't count your blessings because of the fact that you are caught by Maya. You're caught by Leela. So it's unfortunate. Correct?
Right, sir.
Okay, who else would like to say? Bharat Patel. Yes, Bharat. And please unmute. Please unmute, Bharat. We can't hear you.
Yes.
Yes.
Sivoham,
Sivoham,
Sivoham, everybody. What Bridges said is very good answer. Maya is the cause of all the suffering and his problems for the normal person. But enlightened person is transcend this BME, body, mind, ego factor, and that is unaffordably. He don't have to do any effort to go beyond BME. He is already transcend this Maya by realizing the truth. And that dissolves, like Sudip said, it dissolves all the problems, and he just watched the movie of Sansar like unaffected, and he just see the screen, whatever going on is all movie. The screen is the reality.
So very good. So thank you, Bharat. I think you spoke very nicely because you're so confident about BME. BME means only a person who's on the path of enlightenment will speak. BME means body, mind, ego. So everybody will not even understand what's BME in the world. But Bharat is talking because he's a seeker. He wants to get to that point. But the point is this. Thank you. Anybody else wants to speak? Why are enlightened beings so carefree? Let me explain to you. Enlightened beings are so carefree because they know nothing matters. They know this world, it is idiotic for us to get upset. You know, somebody says something and you get upset. Does that happen? Yes or no? Somebody near and dear to you, everything they say, somebody says something, you upset. Somebody does not say something which you want them to say, you get upset. Yes or no?
Yes.
We are getting upset all the time. Why are you getting upset? Why? Because you don't realize it's just a show. We come and we go. We are just actors. And because we don't realize this, we just become miserable. We become so unhappy, my dear friends, that we live and we die and we come back again to suffer. Because if you're not enlightened, then you have to come back again. You come back again because you do karma. You do karma because you're the body, mind, ego, BME, which Bharat Patel said, which we are actually not. The point is, will realizing or will enlightenment solve my problems? Yes. There are no problems. Suppose today I'm unwell because I have a cold. The moment I'm enlightened, I say, I don't have a cold. My body has a cold. I don't have COVID. My body has COVID. And you have faith. You believe. You trust. You surrender. You accept. You sit. You believe there's a power. For example, what are we all scared of? We are scared of death. Every human being is scared of death. But what's the point of being scared of death? We all have to die. It's not a matter of whether we will die or not. It's a matter of when. Whether we will die today, tomorrow, or after 10 years, or after 25 years. So why worry about it? Because if you go on worrying about dying, then you don't live. Then you stop living. So my dear friends, what does enlightenment do? Enlightenment liberates you from all suffering. Pain of the body, I am not the body. Pain of the mind, there is no mind. Pain of the ego. The problem of ego, if I think me and Girish and Bharat and Hitkari are different, then the ego comes. But if I think me and Hitkari and Girish and Bharat are the same, we're all part of the same soul, then there's no ego. I've been trying to discuss it with a few people recently and they can't understand this point that we are one. You and me are one. People can't understand because the ego is so strong. I. There is no I. I is an illusion. I does not exist. It is because of this illusion of I that me is born. Me is the mind and the ego. It is because of I that me is born. It is because of me that the karma is born. It's because of the karma that you are born again and again and again. The moment you are enlightened, you become the Atma. You become the Ruh. You become the spirit. You're free. You are immediately free from all misery. But can you do that? That is what we are on this call every day. Every day, the mission of this call is to help people on the path of enlightenment. And people think enlightenment is impossible. How can we be enlightened? People think enlightenment is a very fancy word. It is a simple word to bring in the light. You bring in the light, switch on the light, you overcome the darkness. You're in a dark room, there's no light, you can't see anything, you fall. Switch on the light, you can see everything. You're fine. You switch on the light inside, you see the divine spirit, you see the supreme immortal power, God, which you call God, is inside. We are searching for God outside. How will you ever find God? So somebody asked me the question, what happens to you since you have realized the truth? What happens to you? I say, I live a life of peace, of bliss, Or do you never get upset or angry? Of course I get. When the mind overtakes me, whenever the mind comes and pulls me down, it pushes me down, 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 down. I become a prisoner of the mind. But the realized person will push up the mind, will throw the mind out and come back strong. Because enlightenment is enlightenment. Once you're enlightened, you're enlightened. So let's get on to question answer session today.
Guruji, one
Ah,
thing,
Rumata ji, boliye.
enlightened person accepts whatever is happening to us and will also accept what will happen in future. He lives with the will of God.
हाँ.
तो
And
कुछ
then-
फर्क नहीं पड़ता कुछ भी हो,
Why?
बिकॉज उसको एक्सेप्टेंस आ गई है और सरेंडर भी, उसका भी पता चल गया कि सरेंडर करो और एक्सेप्ट करो,
But why?
क्योंकि वो उसे ट्रुथ समझ आ गई है.
वो ट्रुथ क्या है?
एनलाइटनमेंट.
वो एनलाइटनमेंट क्या है?
To switch on the light within.
नहीं. And we are not going to go around in circles. What is this enlightenment that you are talking about?
Neti,
What is-
neti,
Huh?
neti, neti.
So what is the meaning of neti neti?
I'm not this body, not this mind.
Excellent. But in a macro perspective, enlightenment means you live with the realization
Mm.
Jagat Mithya.
Yes.
Jagat Mithya Prabhu Satya.
Satya. Mm.
Jagat Mithya Prabhu Satya means what Bridget said. What an amazing French girl from Canada, Bridget, who comes every morning from Canada and speaks. And she said with so much enthusiasm, it's all Maya. So Bridget started this answer, which is amazing answer. But Bridget, you know the meaning of Maya? It means Jagat Mithya. It means this whole world is an illusion. Prabhu Satya or Brahma Satya. We don't use the word Brahma because it's confusing. Prabhu Satya means everything in this world is the divine. You, me, everybody. Prabhu to hai har jagah, har shay mein wo hai, koi jagah na jahan wo nahi hai, kan kan mein wo hai, uske bin kuch nahi hai, sab kuch wahi hai, sab kuch wahi hai. This realization doesn't come. रू माता जी भी प्रभु है, हितकारी वही है, भरत भी प्रभु है, विजय भी वही है, मोहन भी प्रभु है, ब्रिजेट भी वही है, सुदीप भी प्रभु है, लीना भी वही है, रेखा में प्रभु है, गौतम भी वही है, आत्मात्रय प्रभु है, राजन भी वही है, मुझ में प्रभु है, तुम में भी वही है, सब कुछ वही है, सब कुछ वही है. If you only learn this one song, your life can be transformed. फूल में प्रभु है, फल में भी प्रभु है, मिठास में वो है, सुगंध भी वही है, भागों के पेड़ों में प्रभु ही समा है, आसमां वही है, बादल भी वही है. My dear friends, enlightenment is realizing that everything is a manifestation of the divine. Everything in this world is a manifestation of the divine. Do we realize this? If you realize this, you cannot be unhappy. You cannot be stressed. You cannot be miserable. You cannot get depressed, anxious, worried. No, because everything is an illusion. In the end, death will teach us a lesson that everything will come back to zero. All our money, our properties will go. All the people we love will be gone. And the day is not far away. Are we going to live miserably, or are we going to live every moment in enlightenment and live in a state of Sat Chit Anand? So let's get on to the next question, please.
Yes, Shiva,
Yes. Shivoham, bolo Gautam. Your voice is not clear. So you have to come back with a clear voice. I can't hear you. Atmatraya. Gautam, your audio is not clear, Gautam. We can't hear you. Atmatraya, please put your
Yes, sir.
question, please.
Yes, yes. Shivam, sir.
Shiva, Atmatraya.
Sir, is intellect depend on our belief or any other factor?
I could not hear you.
Intellect is depend on our beliefs.
On our beliefs.
Uh-huh.
Beliefs.
Beliefs, yes. BELIF.
Intellect is a gift from the divine.
Okay.
And intellect will develop as a person grows.
Okay.
But the intellect will
Now
not
it's okay.
intellect will not go by beliefs.
Yeah,
The mind will go by beliefs.
I see. Uh-huh.
The intellect will discriminate the beliefs. And let me give you an example.
Okay.
Suppose you believe.
Okay.
Please don't get upset at what I'm saying, Atmatraya. Suppose you
Yeah.
believe every day morning when you're going to temple and you're offering abhishek to the ling,
Yeah.
the milk is going to your mother in heaven. So this is belief.
Hmm.
If your intellect discriminates, will it continue the same belief?
No.
No, intellect will say this is nonsense.
Mm-hmm.
Intellect will say what your mind is believing is nonsense. My
Okay.
mother is gone. I cremated the body. My mother has gone into her next journey, whatever the journey is. By me offering milk to the shivling, it's not going to go to her. The
Yeah.
intellect is the ability to discriminate,
Okay.
and it doesn't go by beliefs.
I see.
Intellect is a sharp tool given to us.
Okay. How to sharpen it?
Sharpened by spirituality, by silence, by consciousness. Suppose you want your intellect to be sharp, you spend time in silence. You spend time in consciousness.
Okay.
Suppose you spend time in consciousness, then in that consciousness, the intellect gets sharpened.
I see.
Intellect gets sharpened when you go in jnana, when you remain in yoga, when you're doing bhakti.
Okay.
All these things, all these spiritual aspects will sharpen your intellect. When you're going on a talash, when you ask, when you have curiosity, you ask questions, you investigate, then your intellect becomes sharper. Knowledge, when you gain knowledge makes the intellect sharper. So many things. It's not
Okay.
one thing.
Okay.
But the first thing to make the intellect sharper
Mm-hmm.
is to know you have an intellect.
I see.
And to know that your intellect is not your mind.
Yeah.
And to become aware that your intellect should discriminate your thoughts.
Sure.
So that is the way to develop the intellect.
Mohan,
Mohan,
Thank you.
yes, Mohan, your question.
How do you come to know that you are enlightened? I mean, there's no test, no exam. I'm on a path. I would like to be enlightened, but how do I come to know that I am already enlightened?
Very simple. Suppose you and your wife are entering your house and it's pitch dark. How do you know your wife is switched on? How do you know that your wife is switched on the light?
Because there's light.
Because you can see. Correct? Suppose your wife does not switch on the light. Then what happens, Mohan?
And there's dark.
You cannot see anything. Correct? So do you have to ask her, have you switched on the light or have you not switched on the light? Do you have to ask her or you don't have to ask her?
Yeah, definitely I have to ask her, have you switched
No,
on
no.
the light?
I
I
cannot
don't have
hear
to
you.
because there's dark.
So Mohan, the moment you enter, you don't have to ask her. If she has switched on the light, you can see. If she has not switched on the light, what do you tell her? Please switch on the light.
Correct.
It's simple, right? Now take this to enlightenment. Now take this to enlightenment. How do you know you are enlightened? Right? If you can see inside, then you are enlightened. If you can't see inside, then you're not enlightened.
So if I see myself inside, I consider myself enlightened and I give myself a pass mark.
The moment you realize I am not Mohan, the moment you realize Mohan is just a name. The moment you realize when I was born, I was not Mohan, I was a baby boy. Then my mother and father decided that what should we call this baby boy? And they called him Mohan. And Valrani became your surname because it's your family name. And the moment you realize that one day Mohan Valrani will die, but I will not die because I will move on. People will say Mohan passed away. The moment you realize all this is part of enlightenment. Enlightenment is understanding life and death. Enlightenment is understanding I am not the body, mind, and ego. Enlightenment is realizing I am the soul. So you don't have to give yourself a pass mark because when you're enlightened, you don't need to give yourself a pass mark. You just enjoy the state of consciousness called Sat Chit Anand. But did you get the answer what you asked? Your question was
Yeah, I understood. Yeah, I got it.
So
I got it.
when do I know I'm enlightened? Your question, you know you're enlightened when the light inside comes on. At this point of time, 99% of the people in this world have darkness inside. That's why people are living miserable lives. People are unhappy. People are living with hate, revenge. People are living with greed. People are living with desires. A person who's enlightened has no desires. Why? He just accepts the divine will because he knows it's just a show. What is important to an enlightened person, Mohan? He lives a state of bliss, eternal bliss, everlasting peace. Nothing can disturb him.
So we could consider everybody in this group as enlightened.
No. People in this group have knowledge. Knowledge is not enlightenment. When knowledge is like water that you put in the fridge. When you put water in the fridge, has it become ice or not yet?
Yeah.
When you put water in the fridge, immediately, it will become ice?
No, you have to put in the ice tray.
Yeah, and then it has to crystallize. The moment it crystallizes, it becomes ice. So knowledge has to crystallize into realization. Just like water has to crystallize into ice. So you have the knowledge. How do you convert that knowledge into real? Suppose whatever I'm telling you, you know it, right?
Yeah.
Someone just know whatever even Bharat Patel told you, BME Bharat Patel told some things in the call. I hope you heard him saying. So the point is, suppose you know all these things, then do you consider yourself enlightened? You don't consider yourself enlightened as long as you can live that. If you can live like that, if you can live your life as the soul, then you are enlightened.
Got it.
If you find it a difficulty, that means you're on the process of getting enlightened. You're not yet enlightened.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Next question. I have a type question, but yes, please.
Shivomer,
Shivoham.
why does the Maya hides the truth and shows the myth?
Because that is the way human being is supposed to overcome this Maya to realize God. Sit. If there was no Maya, then this whole game of the Leela of the Lord will not be of any use. How does this, for example, unless there is a drama, you will not go to see the drama, right? Unless there are actors, unless there's a song, drama, comedy, tragedy. So all this is required in the drama of God. This Maya is required. If this Maya is not required, how will the world run? Everything in this world is Maya.
Then we are only the Sipna. Then why is the Maya required?
That he decided. Who made the Maya? Not you and me.
No, he means like who is then he is then more powerful than us, na?
No, so one man, I don't know if you heard this story. Let me tell you a story. So you are telling Sip is in all of us, right? Sip is in all of us. So there was one Swamiji. He told his new Swami. He told a new Swami, Sip is God is in us, God is in me, God is in you, everything, right? Suddenly, when the lecture was going on, everybody came running and said, one mad elephant has come, one mad elephant has come. Please run, because if you don't run, the mad elephant will hit you. So this man, which man? This new
Ma-
Swamiji. The new Swamiji said, no, sip is in the elephant. Sip is in the elephant. So nothing will happen. Sip is in the elephant. So just at that time, one more man came and told him, Swamiji, please go fast. Mad elephant is coming. It'll hit you. Please hide. And this new Swamiji said, no, sip is in the elephant. Sip is in the mad elephant. Sip is in the mad elephant. In 5 minutes, the mad elephant came and it broke the Swamiji into pieces. He broke it into pieces. Then the Swamiji asked his senior Swami, what Swamiji, you told sip is in everybody, sip is in elephant, sip is in everybody. Then why this elephant broke me into pieces? The Swamiji told him, what about that man who came and told you mad elephant is coming? Be careful. Who was he? He also was sip, no?
Yeah, he was also sick.
Why you didn't listen to him? When he told you mad elephant is coming, why you didn't listen?
Yes.
So try to understand. Everybody is sip means doesn't mean that you let a mad elephant eat it, break you into pieces. So don't
Yeah.
take things in the right perspective. Okay, if we have only a few minutes more, thank you. Who else would like to ask any question? Yes, Jyotri has a question to ask.
Is it predestined that who we will meet whom on earth after birth?
Is it predestined who we will meet
Whom on this earth
on this
after
earth
birth?
after birth? No. It is not predestined whom you will meet on your. This is something that unfolds. You don't believe in this predestined subject. What is predestined is your karma. Your past karma will unfold. Can you make out who you will meet, how it will happen, how the past karma will unfold? Nobody knows. So you don't go by this thinking that who you will meet on earth is predestined. No, you just move on and do your best. You use your intellect and you make the best decisions for yourself. Don't keep thinking everything is predestined. Where you're concerned, nothing is predestined. Everything is in your hands. And everything is in the hand of Sip. And you are Sip. Take this attitude. I am Sip. I can do what I want. Everything is Sip. I accept. I surrender. Don't believe that things are beyond your control. Don't think that things are predestined. It's not a good thing to do. Okay, next question. Yeah. First priority for live questions. I have 2-3 old questions pending, but I would like to give live priority. Anybody has any questions?
My network is not good, so I had typed the question.
Where's the question? Where is your question? We have not got your question, Gautam. It's not come. Your question has not come. Your typed question has not come. Please type your question. We will answer it.
I want to know that how to
How to what, Gautam? So this is the problem in life. When our network with God is bad, when our network with SIP is bad, it's called bad yoga. Please type your question. Please type your question and send it. Please type your question and send. You have given a good message to the full group. You have given a good message to the group now. Gautam, mute him, please. Huh? You got the question from Gautam?
No.
So you just saw what happened when your connection is bad.
I'm typing the question.
When your network is bad with the divine, this is what happens. This is called poor yoga. It's a poor yoga means yoga is union. Gautam not able to speak to us was a signal. We should not have such a bad network with God. Since nobody was asking a question, Gautam gave us a message. We need to build a good network, clear network, good Wi-Fi, good signal, our connection with God, our connection, Prabhu, our connection with the divine, without any dilution from man or beast. Nobody should be able to take us away from God. Nobody should be able to take us away from enlightenment. Most of us in this world, we are carried away. We are carried away by people and possessions. We are carried away and we lose the journey of enlightenment. We become miserable. Remember this, the 99% of the people in this world are unhappy because they don't have enlightenment. They have They're waves of being happy and unhappy, joy and sorrow. They are glad and they are sad. So we must realize this. We should not be in that cycle of Maya, of samsara. We have to be in yoga. You have a question from Gautam?
No.
So Gautam,
Yeah,
your
now-
question.
Yeah,
not
sure.
been
Now
clear.
I can speak.
Yes.
How to face arguments?
How to face arguments?
Yeah, how to face? Suppose a person does arguments. Suppose a person does arguments with me, so the decision is wrong for me. So how to face that one?
Don't argue. Don't argue.
No, the decision, the decision might be wrong for me.
Nobody can force you to argue. Argument is a foolish game, because argument you can only lose. They say if you lose an argument, you lose, and if you win an argument, you still lose. Have you heard that? They say if you lose an argument, you lose, and if you win an argument, you still lose, because the person who has lost the argument with you will never forgive you for it. So the best thing to do is not to argue. Don't get into arguments. It's a waste of time. Let other people have their own opinion. If somebody wants to argue, you have to have an attitude which is called, you agree to disagree. You have an attitude, I agree, let's agree to disagree. And leave it. Let's argue. Discussions are good. Arguments are bad. A discussion is when two sensible people are talking. An argument is when two irrational people are arguing. When two irrational people are arguing, it makes no sense. It's wasting time. When two sensible people are discussing, it's okay. They're both trying to learn from each other.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. So we have just a couple of minutes to close. Anybody wants to ask the last question before
I have one more question I want to ask.
Yes.
If we love somebody, then should we tell that person or should we not tell that person?
When you love somebody in the samsara, that means you are sure to be unhappy. When you love somebody as a soul, you are sure to be happy. You can tell that person. The moment you are in love with the skin, you're going to be disappointed. You're going to become unhappy. So love is only good when it is divine. When love is for a human being, you are surely going to be unhappy, because that human being will become sick, that human being will die, that human being will tell something bad and you will get hurt. Therefore, you must only love the divine. Windows.
And one more thing I wanted to tell is that enlightenment can change a person's life. And I have realized that I have solved my problem.
Yes.
Takes a minute.
Go on, Rekha.
After coming to this path, I don't know where I am exactly on, but I have realized that what I had done and all, how much it was wrong, what was right and all, I can now see the difference. क्या गलत किया था, क्या सही किया था, वो मुझे रियलाइज हुआ है अभी, और आगे भी क्या करना चाहिए, क्या नहीं करना चाहिए. आई थिंक ये जैसे मैं समझ रही हूँ कि ये एक माया है, तो मतलब वो सब नहीं करूंगी जो पहले किया था. थोड़ा कुछ अच्छा कर सकती हूँ.
So it's good, MC. That's why this call is very important. And when we come on this call every day we all learn something. I learn something, you learn something. Every day we learn something. We learn different people's experiences, different people's questions, and we get beautiful answers from the divine. I'm just a speaker, right?
No, I'm really very thankful to you, Air, for coming to my life. दिल से मैं आपको बहुत शुक्रिया, धन्यवाद देती हूँ.
You thank the SIP. Yeah, you thank SIP. SIP is important.
So first, I will thank you, really.
Thank you.
I will
Tushar's
thank you.
question.
I really thank you for that.
Suffers in
Thank
the
you.
body. Is it the Atma or something else?
Tushar, who suffers in the body? Tushar is asking, does the Atma suffer? The Atma never suffers. Atma is Paramatma. It's just like saying, when you smash a bulb, will the electricity get affected? No, the electricity only gives power to the bulb. You smash the bulb goes into pieces. The body suffers, the mind suffers, the ego suffers, but not the Atma. The Atma is Paramatma. Paramatma cannot suffer. Please be clear. Last question, I think Atmatra wants to say. Yes, Atmatra, before we close, tell me.
Sure, sir.
Sure.
How to overcome duality? Duality होता है ना, सुख दुख ये होता है. Duality.
Sukh dukh is a very ordinary duality. The main duality you have to overcome is you and me are one. You think you are separate, I am separate.
Yes.
It is not like that. We are all one. We are separate bodies, but
Correct.
we are one soul. This is in the Upanishad. In the Upanishad, it's called Advaita. Advaita means the moment Advaita means there is no duality. You and me are not two. You and me, we are one. This is what we have to. This is non-duality. The moment there's duality, what happens? The moment there's duality, the ego comes. For example, Atmatra, you say, I pray to God. I pray to God means you are separate, God is separate.
Yes.
That is duality.
Correct.
And Advaita, non-duality means what?
I am also the God.
I
am sheep.
I am nothing. I am nothing. Only God is everything.
Okay.
The way to
Very
realize,
nice.
you say, I am nothing, God is everything. Atmatra is nothing. Atmatra is Atma, Atma is Paramatma. Once we have this non-duality, then everything in this world will be seen as one. It's just like,
very nice.
it's just like Atmatra. Before I close, let me tell you one small story. One lady, she went to the Bengali sweet shop. She went to the Bengali sweet shop and she asked, what is the cost of this champakali? He said 10 rupees. What is the cost of sandwich? He said 10 rupees. What's the cost of chappan bhog? He said 10 rupees. What? Everything 10 rupees and everything different items. You are telling 10 rupees, 10 rupees, 10 rupees. That mithai wala told her, you are seeing different mithai. For me, it is the same mawa. You are seeing different mithai. For me, it is the same mawa.
I see.
So we have to realize we are all part of the one divine. And this is enlightenment. Today's call was a little different call. But the last question before I close to tell you is this. Why should we be enlightened? We should be enlightened is what we started the call with, because enlightenment liberates us from pain of the body, misery of the mind, agony of the ego. How many of us live miserable lives? How many of us live with worry and fear and stress and anxiety and depression and suicidal thoughts? How many of us live with anger and hate and revenge and jealousy? Why? Because we think we are me, the mind and ego. As long as we think we are the mind and ego, we are going to be miserable. But we are not the mind and ego. We are the divine soul. This is the truth. And when we don't realize we are the divine soul, then we suffer. So my dear friends, we are on this call every day. I was fortunate that I got certain realizations. But even after realization, when the mind and ego troubles me, I can become unhappy. But I bounce back. I bounce back very fast because the realized person doesn't take time to bounce back. But those who are not realized, they become depressed. They become miserable. They are not able to bounce. They are not able to bounce back because the power of enlightenment in them is weak. Therefore, every day we talk about realization. We talk about enlightenment. We talk about overcoming the myth, realizing the truth. And my job every day is to try my best to get you to that point. Maybe it is the blessings of the divine that we will all walk towards that goal of liberation and unification. We don't return to earth in a rebirth to suffer again and again. We are liberated and we are united with the divine. Remember this, and we started with this today, right? What is the enlightened being? Is he stressed out or is he carefree? Enlightened being lives in a state of Sat Chit Anand. Sat Chit Anand means lives in a state of consciousness of the truth, and this gives Ananda. This gives bliss. Nothing is real. Everything is Maya. And this,
one more thing I want to tell you.
Not today. Tomorrow. Everything is an illusion. We will continue tomorrow. I bow down to thee.